Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. In today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Tom Lindley, the creator and producer of TNT's hit series, Rich and Shameless. Enjoy our program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Thursday headlines. In national news, Governor of Texas says Texas gunman said he was going to shoot up a school. The gunman who massacred 19 children and 2 teachers at an elementary school in Texas warned in online messages sent minutes before the attack that he had shot his grandmother and was going to shoot up a school, the governor said on Wednesday. The shooter, 18, not identified by this program, used an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle in the bloodshed Tuesday at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, which ended when police stormed a classroom and killed him. He legally bought the rifle and a second one like it last week, just after his birthday on May 16th, authorities say. Evil swept across Uvalde yesterday. Anyone who shoots his grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart, Governor Greg Abbott said, but it is far more evil for someone to gun down little kids. Investigators shed no light on the motive for the attack, which also left at least 17 people wounded. The governor said the shooter, a resident of the small town about 85 miles west of San Antonio, had no known criminal or mental health history. But about a half hour before the mass shooting, the shooter sent the first of 3 messages online, Abbott said. The shooter wrote that he was going to shoot his grandmother, then that he had shot the woman. In the last note, sent about 15 minutes before he reached Robb Elementary, he said he was going to shoot up an elementary school, according to Abbott. Investigators said the shooter did not specify which school. The shooter sent private one-to-one text messages via Facebook, and they were discovered after the terrible tragedy, the company's spokesman Andy Stone said. He said Facebook is cooperating with investigators. As details of the latest mass killing to rock the U.S. emerged, grief invaded Uvalde, population 16,000. Amid calls around the U.S. for tighter restrictions on firearms, the Republican governor repeatedly talked about mental health struggles among Texas young people and argued that tougher gun laws in Chicago, New York, and California are ineffective. Police and others responding to the attack also went around breaking windows at the school to enable students and teachers to escape. Officers eventually broke into the classroom and killed the shooter in one last exchange of gunfire, authorities said. The attack in the predominantly Latino town was the deadliest school shooting in U.S. since a gunman killed 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut in December 2012. The tragedy was the latest in a seemingly unending string of mass killings at churches, schools, stores, and other sites in the U.S. Just 10 days earlier, 10 people were shot to death in a racist rampage at a Buffalo, New York supermarket. In more national news, Congressional Budget Office says inflation to last into 2023. The Congressional Budget Office released an economic outlook Wednesday saying that high inflation will persist into next year, likely causing the federal government to pay higher interest rates on its debt. The nonpartisan agency expects that the Consumer Price Index will rise 6.1% this year and 3.1% in 2023. This forecast suggests that inflation will slow from current annual levels of 8.3%, yet it would still be dramatically above a long-term baseline of 2.3%. The 10-year estimates do contain positive news, as this year's annual budget deficit will be $118 billion lower than forecast last year. That's a byproduct of the end of pandemic-related spending and the solid job growth it helped to spur. In more national news, FDA chief struggles to explain slow response on baby formula. The head of the Food and Drug Administration faced bipartisan fury from House lawmakers on Wednesday over months of delays investigating problems at the nation's largest baby formula plant that prompted an ongoing shortage. The FDA commissioner laid out a series of setbacks in congressional testimony that slowed his agency's response, including a COVID-19 outbreak at the plant and a whistleblower complaint that didn't reach FDA leadership because it was apparently lost in the mail. In entertainment news, Steven Tyler enters treatment, Aerosmith cancels shows. Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler has voluntarily entered a rehabilitation program, forcing the Boston-based rock band to cancel the first portion of its upcoming Las Vegas residency. Tyler, 74, has made no secret of his lifelong struggle with substance abuse disorder. As many of you know, our beloved brother Stephen has worked on his sobriety for many years. The band posted on social media over this week. After foot surgery to prepare for the stage and the necessity of pain management during the process, he has recently relapsed and voluntarily entered a treatment program to concentrate on his health and recovery, the band said. And finally, in business news, stocks climb as Fed minutes show determination on rates. Stock ended broadly higher on Wall Street Wednesday after minutes from the Federal Reserve's most recent meeting signaled the central bank intends to move expeditiously to raise interest rates back to more neutral levels in its fight to tame inflation. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Consider all your possibilities. Do you want to see new places or meet new people? Then consider all your possibilities. Take some time every day to consciously embrace new ideas as you put forth positive energy to attract new opportunities. Make sure, as an opportunity comes your way, that you take advantage of it, even if it is something minor. As you act on your opportunities, you are sending a message to God, the universe, that you are ready to experience success. God reciprocates by sending you new and better opportunities. This creates an ongoing cycle of successes that will transform your life. When you make time to explore all your possibilities for growth, it begins a new phase of expansion. Today, allow your mind to roam freely as you invite new ideas into your consciousness. And as always, enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with Tom Lindley in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Tom Lindley, the creator and producer of the hit show on TNT, Rich and Shameless, joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the show's success. Here's a bit of our conversation. Tom, really appreciate the time today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, Cyrus. I hope the phone's all right. I'm over here in London, England.
Oh, look, it sounds great, and we're really excited about this. So first of all, let's talk about the success of Rich and Shameless. Tom, what has it been like for you to go from having this idea to now to seeing the way the people around the world are responding to it?
Well, look, we're thrilled that there are so many people watching it and enjoying it, and it's been a hard road making it. I can tell you that rich people who've done questionable things don't really like talking about it, and so we've been completely reliant on the many interviewees we've had who've really had the guts to come out and talk about some terrible things that have happened to them, and it's which must be a really scary thing to do.
What has it been like for you to see the trust they have in you and the show, being able to talk about these things and reflect on them?
Yeah, that's a great question. It takes a lot of work to build that trust. It's not something that comes with a quick phone call and somebody says, yeah, I'm 2 hours of my time, of course I'll go on camera. You've got to be able to try to justify why you're doing it, and I think putting those victims front and center is what we're there to do. Of course, we want to get into some of the nitty-gritty details of what happened and the bad things that happened, but we can never move away. We can never forget that the things we're talking about happened to real people who, never really expected these things to happen in their lives, who found themselves in a position where they're kind of under attack by very wealthy people. When you've got money, you can weaponize it, you can bring that against people, and it's very scary.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in into this edition of Conversation Daily News. But we get on tomorrow to wrap up this week. And until then, I host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.